Hi everyone and welcome back. Tonight the perspective is 70 years since the liberation of Auschwitz. I want to tell you a little story. There was a guy who was celebrating his 50th wedding anniversary. And one of his friends approaches him and says, "Hey Bob, can you tell me the secret? How did you manage 50 years with one woman? That's a major accomplishment. How did you manage it?" So he says, "Well, I'll tell you the secret. I make all of the big decisions and she makes all the small decisions." He says, "What do you mean?" He says, "Well, my wife makes all the decisions where we're going to buy a house, where the kids are going to go to college, and I make all the big decisions, who's going to be the next president, who's going to be the when America is going to invade Iran." There's supposed to be an applause over here. Laughing. 70 years since the Holocaust. Let's talk a little bit about in perspective. Where are we now? Where have we progressed since then? I'll tell you some amazing things have happened. Number one, this is the first time in history that there is enough food to feed the entire world. The world is producing enough food to feed every person. Never happened before. Number two, the nations of the world have never been united before. There's a United Nations. Everybody's together. There's that sense of unity amongst everyone. And number three, access to knowledge has never been so unlimited. So these are some pretty amazing things. You might come and ask me, well, there have never been more people, there are huge wars that are going on. You might say that there are still people starving to death in Africa, and there are still, the internet is filled with completely unproductive things. And you might say that the nations of the world are united to do nothing productive. And so the answer to that is yes, you're right. But we have opportunity being handed to us on a silver platter. And all we have to do is make sure that all of that food that's being produced is distributed to all the people. And we have to make sure that all of the nations of the world, instead of being united in the name of morality against the good guys, the nations of the world should be united for something productive. And the information that has never been so infinite, all we have to do is use that platform to do something productive. So the question, did we learn our lesson from the Holocaust? We're liberated. Well, we have half of the answer, but the other half we still have to work on. You might say, okay, well, this is good. All the big corporations, the big charities have to figure out how to get that food there. Big decisions. The corporations have to get the food to everyone. The nations, the UN, all of the ambassadors and all the presidents and kings and prime ministers, they're the ones that have to set the world straight and unite everyone for positive things. And these big internet companies, they're the ones that have to start regulating the internet and using it for good things. But there are also the small decisions in our own lives. And everybody has their own choices to make. I have my opportunities Let's talk about internet. I have access to all of this knowledge. What am I doing with the access to this knowledge? I have I have all these different opportunities. What am I doing with it? And so that's the perspective. Speaking of the Messiah, the Mashiach, everything is here. All we have to do is open our eyes. The stage is set for something really amazing to happen. All we have to do is take advantage of it. See you again next week.